Hello and welcome to the adventures of the Black Girl Math Chick Box, inspiring math confidence in girls. 93%. I wish I was referring to a grade on a test right now, but unfortunately I'm not. 93% of American adults experience math anxiety, which is negative emotions around doing and solving math problems, according to ed.gov. Have you ever been at a restaurant, out to eat with family and friends, and as soon as the bill comes, someone yells out, not me. I am not in charge of splitting that thing up. Or have you ever heard someone say, whew, I am just not a math person? Well, those are two real life examples of math anxiety. A lot of the 93% of American adults who experience math anxiety got that math anxiety as children. And then they grew up and passed it along to their kids, who passed it along to their kids, and the cycle continues. What's worse is that math anxiety has a more harsh impact on females and people of color than it does the rest of the population. And that's for a variety of reasons, including bias, stereotype threat, and images in the media. So why does all of this even matter? Well, number one, math is the foundation of STEM, also known as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Our children cannot succeed in STEM without a solid foundation in basic mathematics. Plus, even if they don't want to go into a STEM major or career, math is needed for so many jobs and careers, and for everyday things like cooking, baking, and budgeting. Math is both a life skill and a civil right. So how do you solve for math anxiety? You build math confidence and show your students, especially your girls, that math is popping. And that is exactly what my solution does. Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Rhodes, and I am the founder of Black Girl Magic, the first and only monthly subscription box designed to increase math confidence and decrease math anxiety in girls on the 3rd to 8th grade math level. Black Girl Magic is the manifestation of a wonderful husband who hates to shop and introduced me to the intriguing world of subscription boxes where you could get pretty much anything you wanted or needed shipped straight to your doorstep, an amazing mother who is a retired kindergarten through 8th grade principal and instilled a love of education in me early on, and my own educational and professional background, and my own love for math as well, of course. I have a bachelor's degree in math from Spelman College, an MBA from Carnegie Mellon. I have been tutoring children in math for over 15 years, and I also teach GED math to adults. Fun fact, I am also a proud native and current resident of Detroit, Michigan. So how did we come up with the name Black Girl Magic? Well, I love a good pun, and it is a play on the popular phrase Black Girl Magic, which was popularized by Kashawn Thompson in 2013 as a way to celebrate the achievements and accomplishments of Black women. As I was doing research to validate this idea, I started to find some really scary articles and studies about the experiences, the math experiences of girls, of Black children, and of Black girls. And as a Black woman who has worked primarily with Black children and seen the low confidence in math that my Black girls have, I knew I wanted to create a solution where a Black girl could very clearly see herself as the math star, and also a solution where children of other racial backgrounds and ethnicities could enjoy the solution, but also see a Black girl as the math star. Since launching last year, we have shipped over 800 boxes to over 25 states and impacted the lives of hundreds of girls all over the nation. Okay, so that's enough about me. I'm sure you are wondering what is in this box. Well, let's dig right in, shall we? So here are 8 of the 12 boxes we've curated thus far, and each box is different but comes with the same type of items. The first one is Profile of a Woman Mathematician. So each box is based on a real world theme, and we use whatever the woman did with her math degree to create the theme. So for example, you see here our August 2019 box, which was themed Shop Till You Drop, and features Stella Safari, who is a math graduate from Dartmouth and owns a Congolese fashion brand called Zapinda Shop. So, because Stella used her math degree to start a fashion company, we did a shop till you drop theme, focusing on the math that we naturally use when we shop and also that fashion designers use when making our clothes. So, our girls get to learn about these women. We interview them exclusively for the box. They get a bio about the woman, and then they get to flip it over and read an interview. Next up are our Carrying a Dog Guide and What's Inside guide. So, understanding that a lot of adults have math anxiety, we wanted to create a guide for the parent or other caring adult working with the child so that they can be put at ease a little bit and don't feel like they have to be a math genius to help their girl get the most out of this box. Additionally, we also include a What's Inside guide that talks about the theme for that month, all of the items in the box, and how they fit with the theme. Next up, we include 3 to 5 items to bring the theme to life. So at least one of those items is a screen-free activity or manipulative. So for example, in this box, the Shop Till You Drop box, we included an origami chic fashion book where they get to do some geometry and create some cute clothes using origami. Other items might include something like math operator dice or tangram blocks, even sometimes books and fun math games. And we love to sneak in when we can branded items, other things, again, to bring the theme to life, branded items. So we've included a water bottle, we've done a custom pop socket, and these fun math confidence pencils. Next up is our themed real world math activity booklet. So it kind of looks like a magazine, and that is by design because it is something we want to be appealing to the girls. So they kind of are looking at it like, what's in here? What is this? And then when they open it up, it is full of colorful math problems related to the theme for that month. So for example, in this box, the Shop Till You Drop box, this math booklet included geometry, angles, lines of symmetry, percentages. They were shopping, they were using fractions. So a lot of fun math related to fashion design and shopping. And we always include a math affirmation. So again, going back to the confidence issue and seeing how math confidence or the lack thereof can really color a girl's perception of her math ability, we wanted to harness the power and impact of math affirmations or general affirmations and create math affirmations. So positive statements that they can look at, read, keep up on their wall, perhaps before a test in your class that they can check out and give them that extra boost and keep that math confidence mindset at the forefront. And then on the back of that affirmation is a checklist so that they're making sure they're extracting all the value out of the box, and especially for the caring adults to make sure the girls just don't grab the cute stuff and then don't do any of the educational stuff. And last but not least, stickers. I know how much girls love stickers, so every month I work with an artist to create custom stickers that fit with the theme for that month. These are the 12 women I have had the pleasure and honor of featuring in our 12 Black Girl Magic boxes. And because you're watching this today, you will get in your bundle a download of this visual along with their names and what their claim to fame is, the thing they did with their math degree. So, like I said, we've been at this for about a year, and we've gained some tips and takeaways that we wanted to share with you today. This particular slide will be most helpful for math teachers, but teachers of other subjects, you may get some ideas as well. And I didn't leave you hanging. I have another slide for you. So just to dig right in, the first tip / takeaway is to highlight a diverse array of mathematicians in your classroom or school. Highlight Hispanic mathematicians, Indian mathematicians, Asian mathematicians, Black mathematicians, white mathematicians. Highlight as many mathematicians from racially and ethnically diverse backgrounds as possible. I'm going to get that right as you can. One of the reasons why girls, especially Black girls, are having such issues with their math confidence is because they're not seeing a lot of people who look like them who enjoy math or who are using math to do really cool things. That is one of the reasons why we feature profile of a woman mathematician in each box. Next up, start and or end class with a math affirmation. This can be really powerful in helping your students build math confidence. Thirdly, conduct an informal math confidence survey with your students and share the results with them. Or to take it a step further, have them tally up the results and share their insights out with the class and amongst each other. So the survey could have maybe 5 questions, and it can say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about your math ability, or rate your math confidence? How do you feel about math? Why do you feel that way about math? So creating a space for them to really get out how they feel about math and to address that math anxiety that plagues so many of our children. Next up, showcase math's connection to everything else as much as you can. So as we saw in that previous slide, there are very few jobs you can do without a solid foundation in basic mathematics. I just had a student the other day talking about how he hadn't divided in a long time. And I was like, well, didn't you just clean the house? And he said yes. And I asked him how he cleaned the house. And as he was describing it to me, I was able to then connect back to him how he used principles of division to split up the work in the house and to get it clean. So making sure that you're creating those connections and showcasing math's connections to life to your students as much as possible is something you definitely want to do. Most importantly, reflect on your bias. Bias is something that can be very silent, like you may not recognize that you have it. But if you take the time to reflect on it, you may start to think about who you call on more, who you don't call on enough, who you may perceive as not having higher math skills than others. So just really take some time to reflect on that. And if there's room for improvement, seek out what you need to do to improve so that you can continue to give your best to your students. And lastly, consider a Black Girl Magic Box for your center station event or math night. I'm pretty biased, but I think they're great for any of those things. And I have a few other ideas I want to share, things that you can implement right away with your students, especially your girls. Number 1, create a math goal planner for your girls where they can list out maybe each month a different goal they want to achieve in math class and the action steps they need to take to reach that goal. And then a monthly affirmation that they can plug in and use over and over again so that when it gets a little tough, they can refer back to that math affirmation. Here is one, a template that I made for our December 2019 box. And in the corner here, you'll see a picture of the actual math goal planner that I created to help our girls visualize what success looks like in math class for them. Next up are 2 other ideas. Number 1, math toolkit. So if the budget allows, and if we're back in a physical building in August, or September, which we may or may not be, you can also do this virtually. Get a toolkit. So an actual toolkit that you carry tools in, or have your students get an old shoebox and decorate it as their math toolkit. And every time they feel like they've mastered something in math, so whether that's dividing fractions like we just looked at, or memorizing their multiplication facts, or really understanding their multiplication facts, that's different than memorization, have them write out whatever it is they mastered and put it in their toolkit. So they're literally writing this thing out on a piece of paper. I mastered fraction division. They're putting it inside of their toolkit, and then if they visit that concept again and they are having a little trouble with it, you can remind them, or they can remind themselves, you know what, I already have this in my toolkit. This is something that is already available to me. And that would allow them to relax a little bit and take some of that anxiety off and help them keep persisting. Next up is a math affirmation activity. So this can be a really fun exercise to do with your girls. So you want to introduce the concept of affirmations to them if they are not already familiar with affirmations. And you can Google kid affirmations for ideas. Then give them 30 to 45 seconds to write down how they feel about math today. So that could be anything from I hate math, it's the worst thing ever, it's frustrating, it's challenging, I want it to be over. Give them some time to just get it all out on paper. Then give them another 60 seconds. We want them to spend a little bit more time here to write down how they want to feel about math going forward. So that could be happy, excited, fun. I love math. I love to learn. Then after that's done, invite them to create I statements about math using words from the second list. So that could be something like I get excited when I do math, I'm happy when I understand something in math, or math is fun to me. Then incorporate reading those affirmations in class as much as possible, going back to one of our tips from earlier, starting and or ending class with a math affirmation. They could start and or end class with their own math affirmations, and then tell them to let you know when the affirmations start working, because they will. Okay, so for my other teachers of other subjects, let's solve for math anxiety together. Here are some tips for you to help encourage and decrease math anxiety in your students, but still remaining on topic with the subject you teach. The first one is to make connections to math in your classroom, whether it's looking at charts and graphs in history class or social studies class, integrating geometry principles into art class, or applying logic and critical thinking while writing a paper or taking a test in ELA. Math is everywhere. So make those connections for your students as best as you can. Next up, use math promoting language around your students. I know it's easy. I know it's so easy to say, oh my gosh, I am not a math person. Math is not my thing. Math is not my ministry. We have all heard people say it. Some of us may be the ones saying it ourselves, but it is very detrimental to our students and our young folks, our children as well, if we hear them saying this. This is especially true for my female teachers and or parents. We have got to watch our math language around our girls. That's the reason why, is because female teachers can pass on anxieties and stereotypes about math to students. And girls can internalize that math anxious and math phobic language much more than boys can. And for those girls who internalize that, they perform worse at math. And we definitely don't want that. So use as much math promoting language around your students as you can. Come from a place of curiosity and not necessarily defeat. Next up, highlight careers relative to your subject and the role math plays in that career. So when you think about animators, they have to use a lot of math, but you think about that as an art form. Geographers, they have to use a lot of math as well. Scientists use so much math. So math is needed in a ton of careers, even if it doesn't seem like it. I would love to recommend the site weuseMath.org for you to identify jobs that relate to the subject you teach, and then highlighting those careers in your classroom, making sure to mention to your students the math they would need in that role. And last but not least, for my suggestions, tips, and takeaways for today, please buy Women Who Count. Where is it? It's right here. For your students. Women Who Count was written by Dr. Shelley Jones, who I featured in my December 2019 Black Girl Magic Box. You can see the picture up on the right. And it is an 100+ page book highlighting 29 African American women mathematicians. So there are bios about these women, and not only that, really fun activities, not just math worksheets, but really fun things like crossword puzzles and mystery shape equations. We even have a maze in here, Benjamin Banneker gears. There are coloring sheets. So many activities crammed into this book. And I firmly believe that every math class and history class should have a Women Who Count book available for your students. Get it. You will not regret it. And if you were wondering how you could use Black Girl Magic boxes in your classroom, I am here to let you know that while we mentioned earlier that they're great for centers or stations, math night or game night at the school, perhaps the best way to use the Black Girl Magic Box is in small groups, and each child, about 4 children, could have a different thing that they're in charge of, and you can create opportunities for them to spend learning about the woman mathematician, doing some of the math in the math activity booklet, really spending a lot of time with that math affirmation, and using the screen-free manipulative and other things that come in the box to have this really robust experience. We also love the idea of Math Confidence Club at your school, where the students in the club get to go through a different aspect of the box each week for 4 weeks with a teacher or Black Girl Magic liaison. And then at the end of the 4 weeks, they get to take that box home and keep the math confidence building and inspiration going on from home. And then club starts over and they get a brand new box to work through. And if you were wondering, because I've had people ask, we do bulk orders. Right before the pandemic hit, we got our first bulk order from a district, which is that picture at the top there. And it was quite a fun day. And by fun, I mean crazy. So if you're joining me in the live group afterwards, I can tell you more about that. But that order came from the East Orange School District in East Orange, New Jersey, who ordered 200 boxes. And we were so excited about that because we want Black Girl Magic boxes in the hands of as many children as possible. And of course, it would not be a Black Girl Magic presentation if I didn't end this with a lovely quote from the wonderful Katherine Johnson, who we lost earlier this year. We will always have STEM with us. Some things will drop out of the public eye and will go away, but there will always be science, engineering, and technology. And there will always be mathematics. Thank you so much, Total Teacher Summit attendees, for tuning into my session today. Please follow along with our journey on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Join our email list for a fun freebie of our very first math activity booklet featuring Dr. Gladys West, the mathematician whose calculations help invent GPS. And join us on July 12th, tomorrow, for our 1-year anniversary and website launch party. I will provide the link in your bundle. Thank you again so much, and join me in sprinkling some Black Girl Magic and helping our girls build the critical math skills they need to succeed in class today and society tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Jamie from Basic Girl Teaches, and I am so excited to be here with you today talking about Instagram, one of my favorite things. It has been such a pleasure for me to be a part of the Total Teacher Summit and to get to work with Danielle and Nicole from Everything Education. They did such an incredible job putting this together, and I